Hi, my name is Kara Hutchinson, and I would like to thank you for joining me today for this presentation on Infohio Early Learning Resources. If you need to get in touch with me after this presentation, my email is here at the bottom of the screen, kara@soida.org, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with Infohio, it is a virtual K through 12 library, free to all residents of Ohio. So it's a fantastic resource, very underutilized a lot of times, but great things happening. So I'm going to click over there really quickly. Maybe. Maybe or maybe not. Okay, so we are just on infohio.org. And if you notice up here, they use a geolocation to find that you are in the state of Ohio so that you are allowed to be using this for free. Some of the resources on here are a paid subscription that InfoHio covers the cost of. So InfoHio schools have different options, and in order to use some of the resources, you may need your school's login, but they make it really great. If you click up here on this InfoHio user tab, I can click find password. I can click allow. And then if I just type in my school's name here, I can search through these different schools looking for wherever I am. And if I click on my school, it'll automatically put in the username and password so I can go ahead and log into my school's account. So as you can see, I'm logged in as Dayton Public Schools now. But we're going to focus today on Earlybird, which is Infohio's early learning portal, which is ages 3 through 5. So this is a great resource for parents and educators and even some caregivers, and all free to use. So they've made this really nice Bookflix. Before I go into the actual early learning portal, Bookflix is under the 3 through 5 tab. And if you aren't familiar with Bookflix, it is a fantastic resource for kids in general. I actually wouldn't put an age limit on it, but InfoHio covers that cost of the subscription through Scholastic. So Bookflix is a place where fiction texts are paired with nonfiction text on multiple different topics, and the
click on a category.
Fiction texts are usually
to begin.
A video of the story, and it's set up where it will read it along the bottom and highlight the words as it goes. And then the nonfiction text that is paired with it will give the kids the option to either read it by themselves or read it to them. And another great thing is there are Spanish options as well. So if I want to filter only the Spanish text, I can always toggle on this Espanol up here, and it will find me the texts that allow for a Spanish option. So they always have a featured text depending on what's going on that month. So I actually like this book a lot. And you can see it was a Caldecott winner, or a Caldecott nominee, I guess. But I can watch the story. I can make it full screen. And as it reads the text, you'll notice that the words will
find the French horn. Its vowels all.
It'll highlight along across the bottom. The other great thing that I like about Bookflix are these puzzlers that go along.
Read the clue below. Click on the word it matches. Match all. Read the sentence below.
it gives them digging deeper. It'll give them meet the creators. So there's more that you can do with it than just technically, I guess, read or listen to a story, but that may be all the kids are focused on. But as an educator or a caregiver, you might want more content or something else to give to them. And this allows you to do that. If you are a parent
Click
or a
on a category
caregiver who is looking for
or click
more
on the feature to
stuff,
begin.
over here at the top where there's this little apple with the book, if you click on that, you're going to the resources and tools. And the thing I like about this is each of the texts are here with the Lexile, the grade number, how long the video time is for the fiction book, which is always helpful. And there's also lesson plans, which is fantastic. So you have that option. The other thing I like here is that you can filter by themes, or you can even do a search. So obviously St. Patrick's Day might be something like a holiday that you might want to talk about. And of course, it'll probably be the one that there's nothing on, of course. So if I wanted to do sharing, so it pulled two titles that may help me teach my kids about sharing. And Groovy Joe, if you haven't seen Groovy Joe, he's fun. And Stick and Stone, that's a fun story as well. But then, if you notice too, they've also paired it with that nonfiction text of empathy, or this one is showing milk to ice cream. So that is, oh, I guess that's manners, feelings, manners, and good citizenship. So lots of great content here. And obviously, too, if you're using Google Classroom, you can tie it to your class if there's something you want them to complete. Okay, so that's Bookflix. The other two things on this landing page of the early learning portal are Worldbook and Worldbook Kids. Both great resources. If you remember, Worldbook used to be obviously a set of encyclopedias, and now it's all digital, it's online. Worldbook Early Learning allows the kids to explore and play games and do different things, all that might be content that they're interested in. So, like terrific
The
trees.
Info Tree.
What is a
Trees with
tree?
needles.
There's
A
videos,
giraffe walking.
there's games all tied to trees.
The kite savers.
So if you're wanting to focus on a theme with your students, this might be a good place to tie in some great content. The Worldbook Kids is also another great option. It's a little bit older, but it's still got some great videos, games, and different things for them to explore. So they always have some sort of background image that connects to something you can read about. Here's a whole thing about aquariums, and it will read
Aquariums are tanks filled
to them, which is always fantastic when you're working with younger students. Okay, so let's get into the actual early learning portal. And when you come here, you're going to choose whether you're a parent or an educator. And so I'm going to choose educator. You have most, I think, all the same options on both versions. But it breaks it down into these different categories. And then the categories are broken down even into more categories. So the thing I will say about the early learning portal is that sometimes a lot of the apps that are available are apps only and not website and apps. So depending on if they're using tablets or an actual computer, it may or may not work for what you're doing. So if you go into cognitive development, then it's broken down even further. So let's click into science. There's Go Noodle, which is always a good brain break if you're wanting your kids to kind of get up and move. And also, some of these apps will be in multiple content areas. So Go Noodle we might find it in science, but we might also find it in like the social and emotional learning or some other place. So you may see some of these apps or websites more than once. So if we scroll through, you can see it'll give you whether there's a website or just an app. So like this one is only a website, only a website, only a website. So this one isn't a website, but it's also good for Apple and Android as an app, a website. So great things happening here. One of the things I love for the little guys in here is the Codapillar. If you are working on basic computer coding for your little guys, it's kind of a fun game for them to play, and they don't have to actually have the Codapillar. I also love Sid. He's Sid the Science Kid. He's a fun little guy. And now, watch, I can't find the Codapillar. Okay, and Peg plus Cat, that's another PBS resource. So there are some cross ties here too with apps that you may have seen before. This social and emotional piece, I think, is a great one for the kids. I love this think, breathe, think, do. Kind of teaches the kids what do they do if they get frustrated, trying to tie their shoe, or what do they, how do we stop and take a deep breath? And it works through those processes with those younger kids in a language that they can understand. So some really great resources on Infohio Early Learning. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. The best way to kind of, I guess, find what works for your kids on that site is to kind of poke around. If you have watched this little presentation, you can fill out the Google form on the Ohio EdTech's website, and enter the code INFO, and we will send you a certificate of completion so that you can use those hours towards renewing your license. So thank you for joining me today, and I will see you again.